Hi everyone. I have made some progress recently with Claude Code, and I'd like to share some of that. And hopefully, in a few days, I'll make something more slick and which is makes a better use of time. I'm probably gonna ramble in this one, and all I have is the headset. I don't have a good microphone to use for recording. Hopefully, you can turn up the volume and it'll won't be too bad. As you know, Xschem is something that was written by Stefan Schipper starting in the early 2000s. And I tried using it early last year. I found it very difficult to use, even though it is somewhat full-featured. That's something to know about it. When I started, it was surprising to me that schematic editor that had been around that long did not have a basic feature like right click and right mouse click and drag to zoom. But there were some features that I added with help from a freelancer. And I myself was able to add one using Claude Code last year, very basic one. And then I think I did add one with a lot of hard work using Notebook LM to reverse engineer something and had a very basic feature. And then later, Stefan found a much easier way to do that. Anyway, what I want to go over is show you how almost the entire list. So this list was open almost a year. I was looking for freelancers to help me out. It's very hard to find someone who was interested in writing C code. And what I want is basically to get it as close to Cadence as possible. So hopefully after you watch this, you'll never use the basic Xschem or Xscheme again, and you'll use this version. Basically has all the features bolted on. Now, let me just quickly show you Stefan's version, the basic version you'll get when you download. It's actually very easy to build on WSL once you have the required packages installed for compiling. And ChatGPT or Claude can help with that. And let me just show you this file. This is what gives you some of the feel of Cadence. And then these come with the download. This is new. I don't think he has this yet. There's this cadence compatibility variable that gets set. And I think some of these might be unnecessary when you set that. But anyway, the default repository gives you this, and then you run xscan this way. And I don't know what it just did there, but I had saved. Well, actually, let's open one. Let's open a file. You'll see how difficult it is to use. It is full featured, but see, when you want to open a file, you don't want to open a file. You want to open a cell view. So you want to have cells, and then you want to open a schematic or a symbol or another view. But for now, it's schematics and symbols. And let's just open, say, this one. Verilog simulator. Let's open the SAR-ADC top level test map. And okay, this is not bad. You can descend into this and schematic. What happens when you want to edit properties? You can see it's really not user-friendly at all, right? And you know how Cadence looks. And let's go to the upper level, and then let's look at, now I want to open something that I save this one as junk.schematic. You'd like to be able to look at both of them in different windows if possible, but Xscheme doesn't let you do that. Again, let's quickly look at properties. Transistor can have a lot of properties, but is this what you want to look at? You don't, right? So that's it. And then you want the editor to talk to you when you're over. Of course, you select something. What if you select two and now you decide to edit properties? Which one are you editing, right? It's very unfriendly. It's very hard to use. So let's look at what Claude was able to do. This is difficult to do. Fluid click and drag, I can tell you. Working on it, Claude is working on it. It's really hard to do. Now this, I thought I had my variables set so that that wouldn't happen. It would keep them connected, but and then shift makes a copy, so that is good. But I believe, okay, control and drag, that's not what you want, right? That's in Cadence, it's shift and drag, shift click and drag is for copy, so that part is good. And how about this? So let's say you draw a wire. I want to shorten the wire. Can you do that? You can't. What you'd have to do is click on it and then click and drag. So it's really hard to use. It is so what I'm trying to get at. So let's look at what Claude has done. This is a work in progress. We got property forms, we got logging. You'd like to get a log, right? Because then you can do macros. This is okay, like a command interpreter window where you can enter commands. Command entry panes has given us that. That's just TCL. So we have not yet put in this because I was looking at a bunch of other things. This is actually, I didn't pay any attention to this, but this seems fine. Let's see if it's broken here. So here, if I select a bunch of things and now I draw a wire, you saw what happened? I didn't even abort the command. So I selected a bunch of things. Now I want to draw a wire here. And you saw what happened? Not only did it not work, it also lost the selection. So for whatever reason, without paying any attention to that, Claude Code was able to fix that. And then this is really annoying. Why should you have to save when you haven't made changes? Now here, let's go back to this guy. Right. Open recent, this guy. Save file. Okay, here it's good. I mean, you should ask me because I made changes, but really you should open that new file in a different window. Why should I discard this? Okay, I'll discard. So now I don't plan to make any changes. So I don't see why it wants to ask me if I want to save. Let's go in here. Descend schematic. Okay, so there was no problem here, but usually I'm used to. So let's do this. Let's draw a wire. Let's do Control Z to undo, or is it U for undo? Okay, undo. So there's no change, but it thinks it's made a change. So now when I want to descend, it asks me if I want to save, which is really lame. You're not, why should you? You're going into look at something and you're going to come back and you're going to continue editing this. So we have fixed that. And the create instance command when you're creating instance. So let's do that. Open recent, go back to here. Let's discard this guy. And now, how do you create instances? It again is completely messed. Okay, so now I crashed again because I lost my server, my X server. I'll have to restart that. It's better to use WSLG, which this is my home laptop where I haven't yet migrated to WSLG. I'm still using VCX server. Let's see if this cooperates now. Okay, it has come up. Okay. Okay, let's come back here and this guy, let's see, let's add a symbol. You don't want to add a tools. It's not a tool when you want to insert a symbol, right? You want to create an instance. Like in Cadence, you should see edit, create instance. That's how Cadence says it. It makes sense. But anyway, tools, insert symbol. And it's given me something in a different window. Let's see. Okay, you see, is this what you want to see? No, right? So let's look at what Claude has done. Then we'll go through the list because what happened here? We're on a different, we were here and what is this? This is where we were, right? Okay, good. Okay, now I will launch the one that Claude Code is written for us and launches with the same thing. I'm running the same script, but it's much more elaborate, and you're going to see it has a lot of cool stuff in there. And this is all online, by the way. I'll paste the repo. So this is loaded up, and where's the schematic window? Okay, schematic window is here. Doesn't want to cooperate in terms of, yeah, my virtual win is not cooperating very well. This should be on the other, oh, back here, it should not be showing on this workspace. Uh, anyway, I'll show you what I have here. Okay, it's not cooperating, but I do have a library manager, Cadence style, and then I do have this command interpreter window. That's what I call it. It shows you where it's logging commands. And then I don't have full-fledged command logging, but it's all TCL and most of it does get logged. And you can also enter commands. So uh, you can do TCL. So now so any editor should start off with until, but you can see how much easier this is to use, right? You can go and pass cell and then you can open it read only if you like. Whereas with the other thing, I don't think you could. You could probably toggle your edit mode, options. I don't know if you could or not. Toggle edit mode. I mean, you want to be able to open it read only, right? When you push into a cell, what else? Junk, is the one. Oh God, that's what I don't like about WSL doesn't play nice with auto hotkey, unfortunately. What I'll do is okay. So this is where we are. And but you'll see some nice features already. You can see that the schematic, the editor is talking back to you, right? So when you hover over something, it's showing you a highlight like Cadence does. So that's nice. What else is nice? The the orthogonal routing and the snap thing was already there. Chayan did that for us. Let's look at now the multi-window support. So sorry, see, so here it says, okay, open a new window and you can open read only. So this one's been open read only. Let's do the same for this. And let's open it here. So you have multi-windowing support. So that's cool. You can put one schematic on one monitor, another schematic on another monitor, and that'll work nice. And how about descending? Do you want to go through a menu or can you set up keyboard shortcuts? The answer is you can set up keyboard shortcuts. So I'm going to control X to go in there. I'm going to control X again to go in here. And it's asking for the iteration number. Okay. I'll go into whatever iteration I'm going here. So you can see this. And then I can do Alt E to go all the way back to the top. And then, okay, because it's struggling with iteration numbers, I can't do Alt X to go back down. You'll see that it didn't like that. But instead of going there, let's go into, I'm going to this guy. And then let's go in here. Okay, this is only, I think it's about to crash. Okay, this does not have hierarchy. Well, let's go back to top with Alt E. And I can go back to where I was with Alt X. And then another nice thing that Claude was able to do for us. This is the top. No, I didn't go all the way to top because that was Alt T, right? Alt X takes us here. Alt E takes us to the top. Okay. And let's say you want to open up this cell in another window, you can just do Control Shift N. That gives you, opens it up, read only in another window. Now this, we supposed to have opened this read only, so it looks like there's a bug. This is not saying read only. Let's close this one. Let's close. Oh, that wasn't good. Okay, so even though it's read only, that's something we're working on. It'll prevent you from saving it. It should not have. It's something I'm working on. Okay, we won't save changes. Let's open this up again. So it says read only, but as you saw, something didn't work quite right. But the other thing is, okay, what's the difference in the emphasis or the font? So the bold items are the ones that are checked in. So because they're all text, which is nice, thank you, Stefan, you should be able to use Git, right? So why should you have to use your command line to do that? You should be able to do it like Cadence. So check in, or you can look at history. Here, there's no history, obviously. You can rename, you can do a bunch of other things. And then it's also aware of what kind of structure your cell is in. So if you use one of the old, let's say you want to open, not this, flying, fly. already open cancel. So what we'll do is, let's say you want to open something. You can use the legacy form if you wish, and you can open something that was recently opened. But now let's go through the list since I've shown you some of these things. What else is there? So oh yeah, the property form, because that's something I do want to brag about, right? So we have this guy. Let's look at properties. So this gives you the cadence look and feel. You want to change the resistor or capacitor, or the capacitor resistor, you can just do that. And you get that. Now, okay, maybe it's not perfect. Let's see what happened. Okay, see, so obviously the concept of callbacks isn't uh, implemented, because how can you can't get well, if you change it to resistor, the properties have to change, right? So you can't just and here, okay, it's not showing us any properties. Who knows why? Because this is a basic, but still it should have properties to it. I don't know what's okay, it does. If you change it to resistor, those things do need to change, and they didn't. So that's a good point. That's something that I haven't yet fixed. But let's say it was just logic gates, you could use that if you wanted. That's one thing. We get the nice looking property form. So that's one good thing. Uh, I don't know what all of this is, but okay. It's all done by Claude. And let's look at more property forms right now. Come on, interpreter window. Okay, so it's showing us what's going on. And if you wanted, you could look at the log and collect up commands and a make macro, but the best thing to do is to just leave it to Claude or ChatGPT. I use Claude because it's just so powerful. And what else? All this was done by Claude, by the way. If you look at the repository, you'll see literally hundreds of changes. Option is with what else? Descend without okay, that's okay. I already showed you that. It's how nice it is to descend, and some of those keyboard shortcuts we've got for descending and returning and being able to deep dive all of those things and open up a cell read only just through control. Okay, I love this one because if you want, where is this guy? Which library is it in? I want to go there, right? So Control Alt S will take me there. I don't know why it had to uh throw that onto the other window. So that's something I got to look into, but you can find this way. So let's say you want to see where this cell is in the, oh, let's go in here. Let's say I want to find this in the library manager. I Control Alt S will show me that. And that's not the built-in. That's defined in my RC file. I tell it that I want that key to be bound to that utility. And if you look online, you'll see uh, okay, you'll see that Claude has done all this for me. The binding of the scroll view, these things that I just mentioned, Control Alt S. Claude has written these files for me, helpers for navigating and using the library manager and all that cool stuff. So, and then here's another thing that I like, because it's basically things that I use when I work in Cadence, right? So I've got this schematic. Let's say I want to place this cell. Now, of course, I could do a copy, but let's say I found it here. I want to place this. All I have to do is Control Alt N, and it will give me that. And I didn't ask it to place it, so I guess there's a bug. But having placed it once, okay, this is a different thing. So it's telling me that I had placed it once. But the nice thing is it behaves like Cadence. So once you place it, you can keep on placing them. And the default Xschem does not do that. What else is there? Keep selected set select commit descend. Create instance command should be ready to place most recently placed cell again. That's right. And you shouldn't have to go through a form to select something again. I want to place something. Just give me the last thing that I placed, right? Okay. After instance, display current command prompt. Okay, this is a work in progress. I don't think we have this wire. Okay, Cheyenne did some things, draw wire, but we'd like the same thing that Cadence gives us. We haven't paid attention to that yet. Flexible key bindings, it's a work in progress, but we have a ton of things you can already do. Wire label a fundamental object, not done yet. Menu item and TCL commands to save. not done yet. Cadence style library manager. It's a work in progress, but we have a ton of stuff you can use, like, you know, library structure. Of course, it's all the same old file format, which is text, which is great, right? So now you can use Git for revision control. That's great. And you can go through your menu. You can do here, okay, the history is very simple because I migrated this. And the nice thing is Cloud also gives you a Python script, some Python code in this repository that you can use to do the migration. If you have libraries in the old format and you want to move them to this kind of format, it's like a 2-minute thing. What else is there? Cadence library structure, subdirectory sound. There is support multi-windowing. We get multi-windowing, so you can put one schematic on one window, another on the other. Access properties. Okay, this is difficult. We are working on it. You can get properties of some object, not all of them, but head highlighting, haven't worked on it yet. Outline rectangles, click and drag. Okay, I don't think I haven't paid any attention to that yet, but this is something that we do want. It's a work in progress. Not we haven't paid any attention to that yet. Interface. This is what I showed you, where you can, you know, you can place the instance that's selected in the library manager. You can quickly find what you have in your schematic. You can find that cell in the library manager really fast and read only. So that's where we're at after just about a couple of weeks. Done 100% by Claude Code. Use a lot of tokens, so I'm on the max plan, which I don't need. I should be able to use the one level down, like the $100 a month plan. Uh, I just didn't want to run into token limits with the basic plan and would have kicked me out of flow, because this way it's so addictive. I give it a task and then I come back, I do my regular work, come back and I see that it's done it. And you'll be able to see all the files that it's created. But anyway, that's what I wanted to show you, and hopefully I'll have something more slick in a few days that you actually enjoy watching more than this one. Thank you.